Hey, how's it going, everyone? Just back in with another sequence video. So this one is Psalms 35, 1 to 18, Psalms 37, 1 to 11, Psalms 40 and 41. Okay, so, we'll just look for the same patterns here again. Psalms 35, contend, O Lord, with those who contend with me. Fight against those who fight against me. Take hold of shield and buckler and rise up and rise for my help. Draw the spear and javelin against my pursuers. Say to my soul, I am your salvation. So right away we have a reference to salvation. Let them be put to shame and dishonor who seek after my life. Let them be turned back and disappointed who devise evil against me. Let them be like chaff before the wind, and the angel of the Lord driving them away. So God's angels are going to be involved in this destruction. Let their way be dark and slippery, with the angel of the Lord pursuing them. That's in verse 6. Okay. For without cause they hid their net for me. Without cause they dug a pit for my life. They're just maniacs, God's left-hand side. Let destruction come upon them when he does not know it. Remember, the verse is peace and safety. Okay, Christ is going to return during a time that's calm, and then there's peace. And so the Bible here is consistent with that. It's consistent everywhere. And let the net that he hid ensnare him. So the very methods that God's left-hand side is using to try and go after God's right-hand side, God's, being petitioned here to use those things against them. Okay. So that's what's happening with this, okay? God's going to put sores on their body and be like, go deal with that, okay? So it says here, and let the net that he hid ensnare him. So use their own stuff against them. Let him fall into it to his destruction. Then my soul will rejoice in the Lord, exulting in his salvation. All my bones shall say, O Lord, who is like you, delivering the poor from him who is too strong for him, the poor and needy for him who robs him. God is like the ultimate, he bullies the bully. Okay, that's his spirit, okay? And so he lets them have some amount of power, and then he comes and just cleans up, so just know that. That's his personality. Maliciousness, witnesses rise up. So now we have coded language for the witnesses. In this case, they're bad, but in the end times, it's the two witnesses. They ask of me things that I do not know. They repay evil for good. My soul is bereft. And so you're not allowed to do good, okay, in this earth. If you try and do good, which is telling the truth or being righteous, they'll repay you evil for that, okay? They'll slander you. But when they were sick, I wore sackcloth. So now we have a reference to witnesses and sackcloth. Okay, this is coded language for people who understand Revelation 11. I afflicted myself with fasting. I prayed with my head bowed on my chest. I went about as though I grieved for my friend or my brother, as one who laments his mother. I bowed down in the morning, okay? I bowed down in mourning, sorry. But at my stumbling they rejoiced and gathered. They gathered together against me. Wretches whom I did not know tore at me without ceasing, like profane mockers at a feast. They gnash at me with their teeth. So weeping and gnashing of teeth, outer darkness. That's in verse 16, okay? So this is coded language for God then giving, the wrath of God, okay, onto God's left-hand side. And then there's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth, and then they're cast into the lake of fire. Verse 17, how long, O Lord, will you look on? Rescue me from their destruction, my precious life from the lions. I will thank you in the great congregation, in the mighty throng. I will praise you. So that's referencing the kingdom. So, this is a little bit more summarized, this one, but it's talking about salvation, right from the get-go. And then, God destroying, his left-hand side, like it says here in verse 16, weeping and gnashing of teeth, okay? And also has references to the two witnesses. So it follows the sequence, slightly coded, but, amazing. Psalms 37, 1 to 11. Fret not yourself because of evildoers. Be not envious of wrongdoers, for they will soon fade like the grass and wither like the green herb. So we're not scared of anybody, okay? A lot of this stuff I'm doing is just to kill time. We don't care, okay? We're not afraid because we know God is controlling the deceived and the deceiver in this left and right-hand side. He's playing both sides. Verse 3, trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in him, and he will act. He will bring forth your righteousness as the light and your justice as the noonday. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently on him. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in his way, over the man who carries out evil devices. We're not jealous of anybody because we don't want to be here. Who cares? Verse 8, refrain from anger and forsake wrath. So now we have a reference to wrath, okay, the wrath of God. Fret not yourself, it tends only to evil. For the evildoer shall be cut off, but those who wait for the Lord shall inherit the land. And so the evildoer shall be cut off. Okay, so just know that. In just a little while, the wicked one will be no more, okay? And so after the wrath, which is just a little while, a short time, 1260 plus an extra 30, 1290, In just a little while, the wicked will be no more. Okay, body and soul are going to be destroyed. So just know that. Though you look carefully at his place, he will not be there. So God is going to deplop the entire earth to prepare it for this. But the meek shall inherit the land and delight themselves in abundant peace, which is the kingdom of heaven. So again, we have the exact same sequence here. It's all the same, and it's absolutely amazing. It's salvation. It's a time of wrath. And then which is body and soul being destroyed of God's left-hand side. And then it's the kingdom being established here on earth. Psalms 40, I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined to me and heard my cry. He drew me from the pit of destruction, out of the miry bog, and set my feet upon a rock, making my steps secure. So this is salvation being taken away. Okay, he set my feet upon a rock, which is a coded language for these so-called UFOs. They'll literally look like a rock. If you watch the Independence Day, that movie is predictive programming, of the second coming. And so that's what it means here when it's talking about the rock of my salvation is Christ talking about these little UFOs, okay? From the pit of destruction, which is the earth, is hell. It's the pit of destruction. So this is salvation from earth. He put a new song in my mouth. This is God's elect. If you read Revelation, they're singing a new song, and only they know the words to it. He put a new song in my mouth, a song of praise to our God. Many will see and fear and put their trust in the Lord. So now we're talking about people that need to see it first. Okay, this is the time of the Great Tribulation. Many will see and fear, and then they'll put their trust in the Lord. Okay, so that's during the Great Tribulation period. Blessed is the man who makes the Lord his trust, who does not turn to the proud, to those who go astray after a lie. You have multiplied, O Lord my God, your wondrous deeds and your thoughts towards us. None can compare with you. I will proclaim and tell of them. They are more that can be told. Okay, so we don't even know all the things that God has done and is going to do. In sacrifice and offering you have not delighted, but you have given me an open ear. Burnt offering and sin offering you have not required. Then I said, behold, I have come. In the scroll of the book it is written of me. The God of the Bible comes in the entire volume of the book. And this is a reference to scrolls, which is also in the last days, these flying scrolls, which is referenced in the sequence of the end times video. So these so-called UFOs are going to be, in Revelation 14:6, are going to be preaching the gospel. So there's these flying scrolls, okay? Then I said, behold, I have come. In the scroll of the book, it is written of me. The entire Bible supports this sequence, and then you can't pick and choose what you like. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that God's going to do the wrath of God. I don't like that part. I'll get rid of that and then keep all this other stuff. Those people are Satanists, okay? They're the ones who are going to get destroyed. So just get away from them, like this is saying. Like it says here in verse 4, blessed is the man who makes the Lord his trust and who does not turn to the proud, to those who go astray after a lie. Okay, no lies of the truth. So just know that. I delight to do your will, O my God, your law is within my heart. I have told the glad news of deliverance in the great congregation. Behold, I have not restrained my lips, as you know, O Lord. I have not hidden your deliverance with my heart. I have spoken of your faithfulness and your salvation. I have not concealed your steadfast love and your faithfulness from the great congregation. As for you, O Lord, you will not restrain your mercy from me. Your steadfast love and your faithfulness will ever preserve me. For evils have encompassed me beyond number. My iniquities have overtaken me, and I cannot see. God's people are humble. Okay, they know that they're weak and frail and sinners. They are more than the hairs of my head. My heart fails me. Bless, O Lord. Be pleased, O Lord, to deliver me. O Lord, make haste to help me. Let those be put to shame and disappointed altogether who seek to snatch away my life. Let those be turned back and brought to dishonor who delight in my hurt. Let those be appalled of their shame who say to me, aha, aha. But may all who seek you rejoice and be glad in you. May those who love your salvation say continually, great is the Lord. As for me, I am poor and needy, but the Lord takes thought of me. Okay, just know that. You are my help and my deliverer. Do not delay, oh my God. And so, this again is speaking to a time of salvation, and so ultimately it's God is going to rescue, like it says here, the poor and the needy. And so, this is very, very important. Again, it's coded language here with the scrolls, and I wanted to get that in here because that's very, very important. And then also just to know, just theologically, that the God of the Bible comes in the volume of the entire book. And so this is coded language for salvation, then the gospel being preached, worldwide. During that time, like it says here, many will see and fear and put their trust in the Lord. Okay. And so, that's important. Also, one aspect of numerology, 40 verse 44 is God's elect. Blessed is the man who makes the Lord his trust, who does not turn to the proud, to those who go after a lie. So this is God's elect. They have no guile in their mouth. And the only way that they can have that is if God tells them the truth. And so that there's a reason why that's in verse 4. And so, that's amazing, just again, how the sequence is there. Psalms 41, blessed is the one who considers the poor. In the day of trouble, the Lord delivers him. The Lord protects him and keeps him alive. He is called blessed in the land. You do not give up on him. You do not give him up to the will of his enemies. The Lord sustains him on his sickbed. In his illness, you restore him to full health. Okay. And that's in verse 44. This is for God's elect, who turn to God as their healer. They don't trust in this or anything like that. That's absolutely ridiculous. Just know that. As for me, I said, O Lord, be gracious to me. Heal me, for I have sinned against you. My enemies say of me in malice, when will he die and his name perish? So this group, ultimately, God's left-hand side wants the elect. They don't want them here. Get out of here, okay? Because the truth irritates them. And so, which is pretty much everybody that comes by my channel. And when one comes to see me, he utters empty words, while his heart gathers iniquity. When he goes out, he tells it abroad. All who hate me whisper together about me. They imagine the worst for me. Okay, so these are groups that the whole world hates because they're the truthers. Okay, and then God has predestined them to be rescued. So they don't want that because then that's going to bring destruction. Okay. Like it says here, they imagine the worst for me. They say a deadly thing is poured out on him. He will not rise again from where he lies. Even my close friend in whom I trusted, who I ate my bread, has lifted his heel against me. So now we're talking about a time of division, okay? And so even my close friend in whom I trusted, who ate my bread, he lifted his heel against me. So, remember Christ says he's bringing division. And so this is a time of separation, okay? This is coded language for the Great Tribulation period after salvation. By this I know that you delight in me. My enemy will not shout and triumph over me, but you have upheld me because of my integrity and set me in your presence forever. And so my enemy will not shout and triumph over me. And so this person will be over their enemies, literally, in these so-called UFOs. So this is coded language for Christ returning with his elect. But you have upheld me because of my integrity and set me in your presence forever. And now this is language for the kingdom, Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel, from everlasting to everlasting. Amen to amen. And so, it ends off with references to the kingdom. So this to me is, again, absolutely incredible. So it talks here about, salvation, right from the get-go. Blessed is the one who considers the poor. In the day of trouble, the Lord delivers him. Okay, so salvation. Then we have a time of, division. Even my friend will, turn against me. And that's in verse 9. And then we have, the enemies not being triumphed over the elect. In fact, they'll be over their enemies. And so that's Christ returning with his elect. And then we have references to the kingdom. So again, even in these, 4, chapters in the Psalms, we have the sequence of the end times. Hope everyone's doing well. Bye.